Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mogul D checking in. Hey, make sure y'all watch this video all the way through. Right now, I'm getting on here to tell a dope story involving Eminem and the late, great Tupac Shakur. Shout out to Hip Hop DX for this article. The title reads Eminem's amazing pre-fame connection to Tupac revealed by man who discovered him. It says Eminem has long cited Tupac as one of his favorite artists, but it turns out he shared a remarkable connection to the late rap legend long before he blew up, according to Interscope A&R. Evan Kid Bogart, shout out to Evan, recently sat down with the Behind the Wall podcast and detailed his decorated career in the music industry, which began in Interscope's mailroom in the 1990s, obviously, talking about his road to discovering the self-proclaimed rap god, a Grammy-winning songwriter who has worked with the likes of Beyonce, Rihanna, and Jennifer Lopez, explained that he was working as an A&R float on a posthumous Tupac album that Interscope were putting together. While working on the project, he got a call from a DJ friend to come check out an impressive young artist at the Rap Olympics. I was like, oh man, I'm going to get fired. I'm supposed to not take my eyes off the reels for the Tupac album. So basically, he was working on something for Tupac, and he ended up discovering Eminem. So it says Bogart recalled explaining that there was a looming threat of Death Row Records trying to steal the music. But I played hooky because my friend Cassidy was dead serious. I went down to this freestyle contest in Inglewood, walked in, and I proceeded to watch Eminem in this freestyle battle. It was 8 Mile-esque. So he, in California, Eminem was doing what he did in Detroit, like, what they showed us in 8 Mile, apparently. That's how he discovered him. Bogart was blown away by what he saw. I called my friend who was in the rap group with this kid Aristotle to come down there. I was like, yo, you got to come down here and see this shit. Then I called my other best friend who had just got hired. It's a lot of typos in here. I'm sorry, guys, who had just got hired to replace me in the mailroom when I got promoted to A&R floater. This kid, Dean Geislinger. He added, they showed up a couple hours later. It was the semifinals, and M was saying crazy things like, don't make my facial tissue a racial issue. All this crazy shit that was mind-blowing. He ended up losing in the finals. So Eminem ended up losing when this guy discovered him. Despite Eminem failing to win the contest, Bogart still introduced himself to the soon-to-be legendary rapper. M was pacing backstage, muttering on his breath, angry, teared up a little bit. I went up to him and I was like, hey, I work at Interscope. I do A&R. He introduced me to his manager at the time, a guy named Mark Kemp. Paul Rosenberg was there, but Paul was M's lawyer. He wasn't his manager. Wow. It says, I drove home with Aristotle and Dean and popped the cassette into my car. We literally drove home with our fucking jaws on the ground. I had never heard anything like it in my whole life. Wow. It says Bogart went on to explain that he spent the next several months attempting to convince his seniors at Interscope to sign this unknown kid from Detroit, but was largely ignored or ridiculed. Wow. It wasn't until he slipped Eminem's demo tape into Jimmy Iovine's possession with the help of his friend Dean, who was tempting as one of he was a temp. Interscope's chief second assistant that the powerhouse label finally took notice. Saturday morning, I get a page on my paper from Dean's number. I call Dean and I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, Dr. Dre and Jimmy heard the tape. It's Eminem in town. Wow. They want to set up a meeting. I was like, cool, I'll make it happen. So I connected them with M's people, set up a meeting for Monday. M came in and they struck a deal. Wow. This is a pretty dope story. This is a pretty dope story. Okay, hold on. He said, so they struck a deal. Hold on, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So, in all, overall, guys, again, this guy was working for Tupac. It says right here, the fact that Eminem was discovered by an A&R who was working on a Tupac album at the time is made, all the more special by his vocal admiration of the All Eyes on Me MC. So again, this guy who discovered M was working on something, that for Tupac that he wasn't supposed to take his eyes off what he was doing for Tupac, because obviously Tupac was a very important artist and superstar at this time. But he found M and he kept his ears open. You know what I'm saying? He discovered Eminem, and he obviously, did stuff that could have possibly got him fired and everything. But the rest is history, guys. So I just want to tell that dope, cool hip hop story. I'm pretty sure a lot of people never even imagined or thought of Tupac and Eminem being connected in any way, but it's always dope to hear stories like this, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.